Hi folks, welcome back to our channel. My name is Janet Adams and I also have with me
Bryn Dias.
And we are happy hour haulers, which part-time resellers. I'm a full-time underwriting manager, mortgage underwriting manager. And Bryn is an operations manager in the food manufacturing industry.
Going strong.
So today we have a follow-up to a three-part series. This is perhaps the third part, or the final part. But I do want to have you guys leave in the comments section if you have any questions, anything that you would like us to answer. We are certainly not pros, but we have watched a lot of Whatnot and also had a couple of auctions ourselves. So I feel like we may not have all the answers, but we can certainly ask the questions and try to answer them the best that we can. So leave in the comments if you have questions. So today's video is going to be Whatnot for Resellers 101. And our last video was kind of long and I kind of went off on tangents, but we do have more experience with buying than selling. So I feel like we had more expertise to provide there. So I'm going to keep to my cheat sheet so that we don't have another hour-long video. So Whatnot is an online platform for reselling, much like eBay and Poshmark would be, but it's in a live auction format. And the Whatnot app does all of the timing and everything for you. You set your parameters and then you run the auction. And when the auction is over, that's it. And so you will have shows that you schedule depending on what category they fall into, the day, the time, and people can bookmark those shows if they're interested. So these are our tips if you are thinking about becoming a reseller on the Whatnot app and what we think is important that you should know. So the first one is chat up your shows as much as possible.
Absolutely.
Whether it's in on social media, if you have Instagram, if you've got a YouTube channel, if you've got Facebook, however you reach out to your people on a regular basis to let them know of upcoming events, you would want to do the same for Whatnot. Definitely invite your family and your friends to come hang out during the auction, even if they're not looking at purchasing, even if they just they just want to be a part. I think that it's nice to include them because in general, reselling can be a little bit isolating, and so it's a great way for them to interact with you. But more importantly, or just as importantly, it shows that there are other people that are in the auction. And I do think that when on the buying side, when I see 2 or 3 people in an auction, even if they are legitimately buyers, it makes me wary. It makes me think that pricing is either out of whack, or maybe the stuff is not authentic, or they're not very organized, and so the auction is running slowly. There's like a couple of red flags when you've got really, really low involvement in an auction. So having your family, friends, whatever, come into the live auctions and, being kind of cheerleaders, whether it's on the seat, on the sidelines, or, actually looking to buy things. I think that it's always nice to have them there. And they're also looking out for your best interest. So if you miss a comment or you need help with anything, somebody has a question and you don't get to it, they can flag you to it. And they want to see you succeed. So definitely, ask loved ones, spouses, whatever, to help you. And then do giveaways when possible, but make sure that you keep them light. So as a seller, giveaways draw people into the auction. They're exciting, they're fun. We all like free stuff. And I will say that there are, there's giveaway surfers that go from auction to auction looking for free stuff. You're going to have that. So don't make the giveaway so substantial that it's painful if a giveaway surfer ends up winning it. But you do pay shipping in addition to that, and Whatnot will send you the label for it. So you enter in how much your giveaway is going to weigh, and then the price that you pay for the shipping is based on that, and they send you the label. So keep it to some good ideas that I've seen. People give away stickers. When I said, wait, let me back up. In the Buy It Now, people will add stickers. And you do this so that buyers can get discounted shipping. So that's the important thing. The first purchase that Whatnot charges is going to be the most expensive shipping cost. So if you have something lightweight as their first purchase, that incentivizes them to buy things that are going on in the auction. So by adding things like stickers, I've seen scrunchies, we do socks. I think that everybody needs socks, can use socks. So we've kind of been doing a lot of that. Some lightweight tote bags, some maybe, Estee Lauder type makeup bags, things like that. Jewelry is another great example. Things that you can run. Gift cards are another thing that's incredibly popular and pretty universal. So yeah, giveaways when you can. It draws people in. It engages people. They get excited about giveaways. They get enlivened in the chat, and you can see how many people are paying attention. And so yeah, do those when you can, but don't lose money doing them. If you've sold nothing and you're not sure whether you're going to sell anything, it's always nice to do one giveaway in the beginning just to kind of bring people into your room, which is your live auction room. But then future giveaways, if you're not selling anything, don't feel like you have to do more giveaways and lose money. And then watch the big channels. Be prepared and be organized. Not all, but most of the big channels are very organized. They're very detailed. They have pictures in the store. Everything is set up before their auction begins. And you will see that they kind of have it down to a science. And try to mimic that. Try to take as much as you can, extract as much as you can. Look for channels that have over 100 people in the live, and then you know that you've got one of the heavy hitters. And that's who you need to pay attention to. Those are the auctions. Check out the Buy It Now. Check out their auction. Check out their giveaways. See what they're doing. You don't want to copy somebody else, but you do want to set yourself up for success. And looking at those things that have proven to be successful, because Whatnot is such a new platform. Nobody has been on this platform for years, so nobody has a strong foothold into this, and years and years of experience. Everyone is new. Those people that have that strong following, they have it for a reason, and it's because they're doing something right. So keep that in mind and check them out. Look for those options. Then the next thing is bring quality items. Most of the buyers right now are resellers. To me, it seems like it's probably 78 to 80% resellers. So if you're looking to unload, which, there's a little bit of a controversy here, because a lot of resellers, from what I've heard, are looking to minimize their death pile of projects, and more importantly, things that are heavily worn that they probably don't want to list, or that have been listed for a long time and they're not selling because they're either flawed, stained, too much wash wear, whatever the case may be, too much tread wear on shoes, torn handles on cheap pocketbooks. If that's what you're bringing, then just be prepared that, resellers have to look at this as a buying opportunity and a strategic business opportunity for them. And nobody wants the projects. Nobody wants somebody else's unwanted discarded items. So if it looks like it's too much washwear but not donatable, then put it in your own closet. Then you list it yourself, but don't look to make a profit off of that item and sell it to somebody else, because your reviews are going to reflect that. And people aren't going to come back to your auctions if what they're buying is flawed.
And you're going to get frustrated.
Yeah.
And you're going to not have the energy you need. You're not going to have you're going to upset people because you're going to be visibly angry. You're not going to have a good time. It just seems to me like it's a terrible platform to try to discard worn, damaged, unsellable items. Now, I think, having said that, I think we are going to have a project show at some point just to see how it goes.
Yeah.
And start all bags at $1.
Yeah. And see, that's a very big difference. We'll have a project show because some people do want project handbags. By the way, there are 2 of you. Trust me, I've still got my eye on some Doonies for you. You know who you are. I don't want to give you the shout out, but you know who you are. And so those will not go up until you get first dibs. But I do think that if something is sold as a project, I've seen designer project.
If you guys want projects,
auctions.
just let us know.
We have lots of projects.
I mean, if you have a specific thing that you're interested in, because we're going to run them.
And here's the difference too, is not everything is worthy of being a project.
That is true.
So if you've got a lower end handbag, if you have clothing with too much wash wear that's not designer, if you've got something with a big stain on it and it needs to be either tie-dyed or bleach-dyed or something to it, if it's not good enough to start, then it should just, it should either find a new home or, that's your headache to deal with, in my humble opinion. All of this is in my humble opinion. And so, yeah, just something to pay attention to. I do also think that you don't bring your very best items. Don't bring our friend Frizzy's Finds, for example. They found at the bins a Ralph Lauren polo hat, Lizzie and Johnny, that he looked up on eBay and was comping at something ridiculous like $150. It was this amazing, almost like a painter's hat, if I remember correctly. He showed it to me. He was so excited. That's an incredible piece. You don't want to sell that on Whatnot because you're going to end up getting $30 and you're going to get discouraged. And you're going to see all of the money that was left on the table and feel like, why did I even bother? I could have made so much more. Those specialty things, let those sit. Let those sit for 6 or 9 months. That's the type of stuff that you want in your store on your other platforms. That's the stuff that you want to sit for 6 to 9 months to find the right buyer and that you don't mind holding on to. Yeah.
And know your audience.
Yeah, for sure.
Know who's following you. Like, I wanted to do a Carhartt show because I've been in a couple Carhartt shows and they do really well, and we probably have close to 25, maybe 30 items of workwear. Well, Janet had a really good point. We don't have people that follow us that would be interested in workwear or Carhartts. So it might not be a good idea for us to have that show because...
At least not yet.
We might
will
not
at
sell
some
anything.
point. Once we have a strong enough following.
Right.
So yeah. And on that note, to piggyback off of what you were saying, Bryn, we started out and we were thinking we were going to do mostly clothes and a lot of shoes. And after our first show, we realized we're well known, we're just well known in the handbag, especially the mid-tier handbag auctions, because there's not that many of them, and there's not that many of us that are specifically seeking those out. There's a whole lot of luxury, and there's a whole lot of people buying up the luxury, I'm guessing to resell or for their own personal collection. I'm not sure.
I feel like it's just one big circle of luxury items.
Yeah. But on the mid-tier, there's just not that many, and so...
The auctions are full.
So, and we get really excited, and we have a little group of a community, and that's another thing that I want to point out. Find your community, find your tribe, find your people that are like-minded, tag them when there are giveaways, tag them when there is an auction after. And then start as low as you can to build excitement and bidding wars. Now, this is definitely something that's a bit controversial because it's hard, because when you're a small channel and you're growing, you tend to want to price things up a little bit because there's not as many people bidding on stuff. And so oftentimes, if something does get purchased, it goes for the asking price. But if you can gain momentum, if you can gain followers, then all of a sudden something that you start out at $1 or $2 is going to sell for consistently 8 to 10 or 15. You look at the really strong channels, the That Is Rad, the Lori Tata, Rags to Riches, they've all got Nikki Buys. They all have a strong YouTube following, and they piggyback off of the YouTube following on Whatnot, and their auctions will have 100 people in them. They're running the shows by themselves. They have no one behind the scenes running anything for them. They're keeping up with all of it, and they're doing a bang up job at it, and they're running things low. Well, they can, because when you have 150 people, 100 people, 75 people engaged, and a lot of them are resellers, they're going to dictate what the price should be. They're going to dictate what they're willing to spend. So keep it cheap enough where you don't lose money, but run it as cheap as possible, because I can promise you there is nothing more painful. I would rather stick a fork in my eye than being in an auction where somebody has Coach bags and they have no start bid listed in the description, because a lot of the sellers are now starting to get smart and save a lot of people time and effort and do SB. S stands for start and then B for bid. So if it says SB20, that means that they're starting that item at $20. Well, I can't tell you the number of auctions that I've been to where I have to wait around for the piece that I want because I don't want to show my cards to everyone. And 30 minutes in, I'm still waiting, and then 45 minutes later, they finally show the piece that I've been waiting for, and it's some canvas Coach bag, and they're starting it at $60, and it's 18 years old, so not even vintage. So, and those auctions are so painfully quiet because I feel like everyone is doing the same thing. They don't want to ask because they're seeing a bunch of other stuff selling or listed for a lot. And it just it stifles some of that engagement if you list everything for a start bid that's where you want it to be. Let the audience get pumped up. Let everyone that's watching you get pumped up, and let some bidding wars happen, because those are always fun and they get everybody going. The endorphin rush, is that the right word? Is really cool, and it's fun to watch, both from our side as buyers and as sellers. So, and then pay attention to the auction and count down and chat it up. So Brenna's really good. She is our front man for our auctions, and she is really good about paying attention when an auction is running and talking about who's winning, and is this person gonna take it? Oh no, such and such came in for a snipe, and only 3 seconds left. Who's gonna take it, guys? Who's gonna take it? You've got to have that excitement. You've got to have that energy, but you also have to know that it's really easy to step away from your device in the middle of an auction, because some of these auctions can be 2 or 3 hours. And so, you've got to freshen your drink. You've got to use the bathroom. You've got to make dinner or throw in a load of laundry. But if you still are listening to it and you say, it's at $13, guys, with 10 seconds left, if you're engaging in that way and you're aware of what's going on, then a lot of people who may not be paying attention or who are looking at multiple devices at the same time, because we all do it, we all know, you're checking Facebook, you're checking Poshmark, you're sharing your closet, you're doing all of these other things while you're on the Whatnot app watching an auction. You're doing your shipping, you're doing your listing, and you just have it playing in the background. But if the seller is shouting out who's winning, how much time is left, what the price is, what the item is, and also still holding it up. I think that that's another critical thing that will get everyone's attention. The big gaffes that I have seen is, one, let's say we have this pen, and I say, I'm running this pen at $1, and this is a Gucci pen, let's say, and it retails for $200. And all of a sudden, I'm like, so I'm going to start this at $1, and it's a Gucci pen, and it's absolutely amazing. And then I do this, and I say, there's 10 seconds left in the auction, and Curvy Kitty is winning. Curvy Kitty. All right, what am I going to do next? Let's see. And then all of a sudden she wins it for $1. First off, I'm not even showing, so people that are just now coming into the auction or that turned away for a second, they don't even know what they're bidding on because it's no longer in view. And more importantly, they don't know how much time is left. So Curvy Kitty is just going to snipe it away from everyone when they're not even paying attention. And the host isn't paying attention and letting everybody know, like, hey, you're about to steal this for a crazy deal. This is a pen. There's 8 seconds left, and Curvy Kitty is going to get it, and it's Gucci, and it's worth $200. So make sure that you're continuing to show. But also keep, opening it up. Keep showing, because, for those people that come late, I can't tell you, I'll hop into an auction, and there's a handbag, and they're running it, and there's, 12 seconds left, and they just hold it like this, and I can't see anything. And I'm like, it looks great from the front, but I missed the whole description. I missed the inside. I missed the back. I missed the corners. I missed the strap. Keep flipping, showing everything. Here's the strap. Here's the inside. Just do it quick. Do it quick for those people that may have joined late or that looked away for a second and didn't catch it. So, next up, show all flaws before running. Oh, this is my pet peeve. There is nothing worse than this. I cannot stand when somebody says, let's see, they've got this sweater and they say, I've got this sweater here and it's really, really pretty, and we're going to go ahead and start the auction at $1. And this is a Gucci sweater and it's really amazing, and the retail on it is $200, and you're going to absolutely love it and see everything is great. And then I start the auction and everybody instantly, and I'm going to start it for $1. And so everybody instantly starts bidding, and I'm showing everything, and people are bidding, and there's, 10 seconds left in the auction. And I say, oh, by the way, there's this massive hole right here in the back that I didn't mention. And then all of a sudden everyone stops bidding. It is so critical because these people, they are spending real dollars. If something has a flaw, that should be one of the first things that you point out. If you're showing a handbag and you're showing, you're 20 seconds into the auction and people are bidding, and now all of a sudden you show that the strap is torn or edge coat is missing, or there's a huge ink stain in the inside of the lining. People can't get out of that bid. So please show all flaws, show all condition before starting the auction. That to me is one of the biggest things. I cannot tell you how frustrating that is as a buyer. And that will make me not want to go back to that person's auction, especially if I win the ink stained lined handbag that I didn't know that I just spent $24 plus $9 in shipping on. So, and then next up, pin the item. So in Whatnot, we talked about it a little bit in our last video. There's a reminder on button or remind me or something like that when you're in the individual item within the store. And if you click on that little bell notification, you will get a pop-up on your phone that says, if you have a smartphone, that says, this item just went live. And it will tell you what item it is. So if there are items in future auctions that are, let's say, a day away, an hour away, 5 days away, and they already have their store loaded, you can look at the items. You can set the reminder when that item goes live. It will send you that notification, and you can click on it and go straight into the live. Why it's important to pin an item prior to showing the condition is it gives those people that have set that reminder an opportunity to see that item start to finish. And if you wait, let's say that the auction is over on the previous item, now you pick up the next item that you're going to show. Again, let's say that it's a vintage Coach bag, and I have set a reminder for it. And you say this next bag is a vintage Coach City bag, and it's amazing. And let me show you the condition. It's brand new with paperwork. It's in pristine condition. It has the box, and I'm showing everything. It's still new with tags. It has all of the original paperwork. Has never been used. Paper and stuffing still in it. That is amazing. Now you're going to go and you're going to pin that item. I have set that item on as a reminder. I'm going to have no idea that you have shown everything. It's going to flag me when you pin the item, and you're probably at that point going to start running it, and more than likely you're going to do this. And you're going to hold the bag like this the whole time while that auction is going on. I'm going to hop in. I'm only going to have a 20-second notice. I'm not going to know that you have already gone through the entire condition and shown every angle of that bag until you pin it, because that's when I get notified on my phone. So if you are a seller and you are watching this, or if you are thinking about selling on whatnot, please, 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 if you have your store loaded, please pin the item before you start showing it. And then the next thing that I wanted to mention is if you're not getting engagement, if the chat is quiet, if you've got 8 people in the room, 12 people in the room, and no one is saying anything and you feel like you're just talking to yourself, try to engage with everyone. Try to ask, things like, what's everyone eating for dinner? What did everyone have for lunch? How is the weather there? Where is everyone located? What time is it there? Anybody have any, great plans this weekend? I would be wary about asking, what are you looking for? Because again, it's kind of like a poker game, and it's like going to a live auction, and you wouldn't tell the guy sitting next to you, by the way, I'm looking at that Dremel set, and I really want that Dremel set and that vintage Coach over there. I'd love to score that too. You would never do that at a regular auction. You wouldn't do it at an online auction either. And so ask questions to just get people engaged with you, unrelated to what the auction has going on.
Or ask what other auctions you've been to.
Yeah.
And in this community, we really foster relationships. And in the chat, many times I say, please link your shows, link your auctions, post your, YouTube channels, whatever, in the chat so everybody can use your chat as an advertisement and an area for them to get to send their auction out to everybody in the chat. And the community is great, and lots of people foster that. I've never been in an auction where they've said, we don't want you to add your
I have, but I'll touch on that in a minute. Okay. And Bryn brings up a great point. In general, most people, she's exactly right. They want to. And I want to say, Kim Williams, I think it was Kim.
She's wonderful, by the way.
Oh, we love Kim Williams.
We love Kim Williams.
Kim Williams and Barbara Hobson.
Yes.
I think that it was Kim Williams had such a great idea, but I can't remember exactly. It may have been another reseller. But regardless, they said, drop a heart in the chat if you're a reseller. And I think that she said something like, and put yellow hearts if you're a reseller and you have a show already posted, so that everybody can follow you and go bookmark your show.
Oh,
and so
absolutely.
It was such a cool way of kind of saying, if you put hearts, red hearts, that meant that you were a reseller. But if you put yellow hearts, you're a reseller that already has a show that people could go bookmark that's already scheduled. So that was kind of a neat idea.
And they also have something to do with fire.
Yeah. So I have seen in some of the huge, that's when you'll see people people that are brand new to the app, and this is a problem, guys. So if you are a new reseller, do not go into somebody like Avad is Rad, Lori Tata, Nicole State is also on Whatnot, Elliott Sales, Luxury Leather Guys, a Paul Boutique. Don't go into Moms and Crumbs. Do not, please do not go into these monster lives. Join and then immediately say, hey guys, come check me out at my show next Saturday at 2 p.m. It is so disruptive to the whole flow, and that's the only time that I've seen people get a little snippy about it.
Well, usually they invite you to do it.
That's exactly right. I think that you don't do it unless the reseller says, hey everybody, leave a comment if blah blah blah, or leave hearts if you're a reseller.
Yes.
I think that if you are buying from a reseller and you're in a live auction, if the auction is winding down, it certainly is okay to say, hey, do you mind if I shout out my show next Saturday? And wait for them to respond, and then you can leave comments in the comment section about your show and what time it is and what you'll be selling. But always ask permission. If they say no or they ignore you, that means they don't want to. It's just, you have to use common sense. And you would not go into, again, an actual auction house. You would not go into an auction house at Carolina Thrift, which is Carolina Auction House. God, I haven't been to an auction in so long, I barely remember the name. You would not walk in there as an auctioneer in Ramsar and say, hey everybody that's in here, I'm going to have an auction next Saturday, so make sure you come check it out. Okay, you can get back to selling whatever you were selling. So you wouldn't want to do it online either. But I do agree with Bryn. The community is very welcoming, very engaging, and very supportive. And most resellers will say, shout out your channel, shout out your auctions. So take advantage of that when they do that, because they're trying to help you out. And then, so ask for requests. Not everybody likes to do requests because it does kind of throw y'all out of your order, but in the same token, you don't want somebody having to wait 45 minutes or an hour and a half until the end of the auction when what they really want is the second to last item. So be mindful of everyone's time, and also be mindful that if you say, no, I'm running an order, that person may end up leaving, that was willing to buy your item an hour and a half earlier, and now they're gone because they just didn't have an hour and a half that they could commit to it. We all have busy lives and things going on. So just know that you might miss out on a sale if you're not willing to run things when people request them. And then in your descriptions, when you're listing your items, do descriptions, do flaws, take pictures. People can pre-bid on items. So if you have, let's say, a Dooney and Burke handbag, and it's going to be a project bag, and it is trashed inside with a hole inside of it, please be mindful that you either add that in the description or you take a picture of it, because while it doesn't happen that often in the non-luxury category, it happens a lot in the luxury category, and my guess is it will start to happen more across the board as people get more comfortable with the app. People can pre-bid on your items. So let's say that they're going to be at dinner when your auction is going on with another couple, or a Christmas party or whatever. They can actually pre-bid on your item. But if you haven't noted any significant issues with your item, then they're going to bid as if it was unflawed, and they potentially could win the bid. And I have seen pre-bids that do win the bid, and I've seen, especially on the luxury side, people that win the bid and they didn't show the full condition in photos, and it is trashed, and it's like you feel terrible And I don't know what happens with that, but just be mindful that the pre-bid option is there. So what would you want to see if you were the one that was going to be pre-bidding on an item? And that's probably what you need to at least disclose in the comments. Significant wear at corners or whatever. And then quick shipping and packing, I think, is key. Whatnot used to allow, I think, 4 days to ship. Now they allow 2. And know what boxes can be used. There is no flat rate boxes and no regional flat rate boxes. So flat rate box, small, medium, large. Regional box A and B. Those are my favorite boxes to use. All of those. Can't use any of them. So you can use any generic USPS box that is not a flat, that does not say flat rate on it. So keep that in mind, but also keep in mind that anything that is under a pound does not qualify for priority shipping. And so therefore you have to use the first class shipping, which is going to limit you and rule out any of the free USPS. So you need to have poly mailers, bubble mailers, boxes. We just keep all of our Amazon and Walmart boxes and that type of stuff. So be mindful of that. And keep the auction moving, make it fun, and be careful of your tone. And I would like for Bryn to speak to those things because she actually, I don't know if we have mentioned it, but Bryn wanted to do Whatnot so badly. And I applied and I said, I can't do it. And she said, no, we have to do it. We have to try it. It looks so much fun. I would love to do it. And I said, great. Then how about this? It can be your pet project. You can pick anything in the house that you want to list, and I'll just back you up. It can be your little baby. And she said, okay, let's do it. So that's where we're at. She has ran 2 live auctions. It is, if I'm not over speaking, it is the most fun thing in reselling you've done.
It is. It really is. Frankie, come here, buddy.
So keep it moving, make it fun.
Sorry. I'm sorry for Frankie. He's getting
There is
frustrated.
nothing on the floor and a cord that has always been there that has never moved that he's barking at.
And he doesn't like anything that's white.
So,
And then there's that. So
keep it moving, make it fun.
Come here, Frank.
Be careful of your tone.
I do think it's important to keep the auction moving, and that's one of the opportunity areas that Janet and I have, because we forget sometimes that it is not like our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And we like to tell stories.
Yeah.
And we drag our auctions out a little bit longer, so we are going to be cognizant of that going forward, and we're going to be
Thank you, Jody.
Yes, thank you, Mom. We're going to be going.
Irene would have told us if she actually was able to watch the auctions.
Absolutely.
I'm confident that she would have said, Janet, you need to really...
You need to really hurry up.
You need to tell Brenda she needs to...
Move it along, folks. Move it along. I want to end on this note, and I really want to explain what I mean about keeping your tone positive. I think it's very important. There are so many resellers out there that you can, and also your nonverbal expressions and your body language. It's very obvious when some resellers or some people that are putting on the auction are annoyed. It's very obvious. And to everyone in the auction, it's offsetting. It's off-putting. It's just not a good. It's not a good persona.
Yeah, it doesn't make you want to buy.
It doesn't make you want to stay in the auction. It makes you uncomfortable because we're so used to seeing people putting on good shows.
Yeah.
And people being good actors and actresses, because it really is kind of it's a show.
It is a show.
You're putting on entertainment for people. You're on stage. You are the star of your own little auction. And I think it's very important to keep that happy face on, keep that energy level, because they don't have to be in your auction. People don't have to stay in your auction. And I feel like you need to be gracious and very appreciative of those people that are in your auction that are willing to spend time with you and give you a chance.
That's so
because
true.
you don't have to have anyone in your auction.
That's exactly right. People have very, very busy lives and lots of options of things to entertain them.
Absolutely.
And sourcing opportunities.
And I feel like the people that are gracious and respectful and very courteous and conscientious of their behavior and their actions and their expressions and their tone. For example, I've been in so many auctions where people will put up something and no one will bid on it, and they'll be like, well, what do you want? Well, what do you want? I can't read your mind, folks. Well, honestly, I want to leave your auction now.
Yeah.
That's the way I feel, and 9 times out of 10 I do, unless there's a vintage coach that Janet wants me to.
That doesn't make me warm and fuzzy.
No.
And that doesn't make me want to support you. What does make me want to support you is you showing 8 items and running 8 items and no one buying any of them, and you taking it on the chin and saying, how about this one?
We'll give this a whirl. Maybe we'll get her
then
next
I want
time.
to buy from that person.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I feel like so many people are so inexperienced with reselling that try to do a whatnot auction, and they get frustrated. They get frustrated because they're not selling the right items. They're not letting the market dictate what's on the store shelves. We in manufacturing or in CPG or in customer service, we say push and pull. You're trying to push it into the market instead of letting the market pull it from you. Mm-hmm. If you let the market pull it from you, the market will dictate what sells. You can watch any of these auctions and see what brands sell, what brands don't sell. You can do it on Poshmark. Poshmark is different. eBay's different. Whatnot's different. They all have different clientele. They all have different niches in the marketplace. But it's very important that you do your due diligence so you're not disappointed. If you are unable to keep that poker face and you're unable to keep that smile and that energy level high, if you are someone who wears your emotions on your sleeve and you're agitated and irritated that you're not having sales, well, 9 times out of 10, it's the products that you're selling or it's your delivery. It's one of the two. In manufacturing, we say it's the standard or the training. Well, in reselling, it's the product or the delivery. It's one of the two things, and sometimes it's both. So you need to change it up. If the square peg won't go in the round hole, then change what you're doing or change what you're selling.
Yeah, and I will say, just because somebody is not bidding on something doesn't mean that it's not a good item. It's just not an item for them. It might be that they're not resellers. They might already have the item. It might not be in their niche, and so it's not something they're interested in. The flaws might be too big to warrant them buying it. It might be off, like it could be a myriad of different things. It doesn't mean that there's not a buyer for it, and it doesn't mean that it's never going to sell.
Absolutely. It's just like when you have an idea, and you know it's a good idea, but the audience that you're delivering the idea to isn't receptive. Well, it's a great idea. It just means you can't do it with them. It doesn't mean you can't do it.
Yeah.
It just means that that's not the audience for you. It's similar to moving up in an organization. Might not be the organization for you. It doesn't mean you can't try it somewhere else. And that's kind of the way I feel about Whatnot. One thing may sell on a Saturday morning that wouldn't sell on a Monday afternoon. And vice versa. It's who your audience is at that time, at that place. So the right place, the right product for the right people.
Absolutely.
It's the 4 P's of marketing. It's, it really is how it is. And it doesn't mean you can't leave it in your store. We've done that. We sold 2 items, I think, 2 or 3 items from the previous week's auction. We just kept the items that we didn't sell.
We just copied over the items. They were still there, and we told people that we said in the beginning, there are items in the store that we showed last week. We're not going to show them again, but they are there. So if you want to see those items, just let us know. And so we didn't show them. They got requested. We showed them, and they sold. And that was amazing. And those people were not in our auction the week before. So it was perfect. It was amazing. The buyers weren't there the week before. They were this week. Fantastic. So I think that that's all. Just kind of to summarize, if you're gonna do whatnot, go into it with the right mentality. You need to have good quality stuff. You need to have aggressive pricing. Let the market dictate where the pricing should be. You might take a loss on one thing, but make a lot more than you thought that you'd make on something else. And so it kind of balances out, and you can't beat yourself up over the fact that, let's say you sold a pair of Tory Burch boots that were, tall, perfect for the season, gorgeous brown leather boots for $11, which we did. Beat you up because you also sold a Tory Burch handbag that you never thought that you'd be able to sell, that went for $46, disclosing the fact that it was a project bag. So it really does balance itself out, and both items sold, and we let the market dictate where it should sell at. And that's okay. And if you price things so you don't lose money, but know that you're not going to get Poshmark and eBay type return, well, of course you're not, because you have an audience of 20 or 30 people, and 70% of those are resellers, and the other 30%, they care about size and how many of them are gonna, is that item gonna fit? So I think that that's all that we had. Yeah. We just thought that it would be helpful for you guys to go through our experience both as a buyer and seller. We would love to know what you thought. We are offering for anyone that is interested in using a referral link from us to apply to be a seller, we will split the referral fee that we get, which is $200. We will give you half of that. You have to apply using our link and then get approved, go through the onboarding, have your first live auction, and once you sell an item through a live auction, not a giveaway item, I believe that they send us $200, and we will happily split that with you. So let us know if that's something that you're interested in. Reach out to us either in the comments or email us at happyhourhaulers@gmail.com, and we'll also leave a link for that below. And I think that that's all that we have. Bren, you want to wrap it up? Anything else?
Folks, thank you so much, as always, for listening to us. And if you do have any questions or any suggestions for anyone who has watched our live auctions, please leave a comment. Let us know what you think. Give us some feedback. We're always open to it. We really want to get better. We really want to be as clear, concise, and quick for these auctions as we can. Again,
unlike this video.
Unlike this video.
Thank you again. Next auction?
This Saturday at 2:00. Happy Hour Haulers. Check us out.
And what are we going to be selling?
I don't know yet.
Birds chirping. We usually don't figure that out until about Friday night at about 8:45 p.m. So hopefully we'll be a little more proactive this time. So thank you for spending a little bit of your day with us. We absolutely appreciate you. Huge shout out to our subscribers and friends that have joined us for our Whatnot auctions and supported us. It absolutely means the world to us, and we look forward to many, many more with you guys. Thank you so much for watching, guys.
Thank you so much.
Huge shout out to our subscribers and friends that have joined us for our Whatnot auctions and supported us. It absolutely means the world to us, and we look forward to many, many more with you guys. Thank you so much for watching, guys.
Thank you so much.